know, when you throw it 5 yards and a guy makes a guy miss and goes 95 yards, it's him. When you throw it 45 yards and then he goes 50 more yards, it's you. So it's like he's going to have to connect down the field. I mean, the Niners really haven't had the kind of receiver that could even run the go pattern and gain any kind of separation. They do have that piece now in Cowing, and I asked Purdy about it yesterday. And, it's like he recognizes that this kid's got a lot of talent, and he recognizes that this kid provides an element of football, that they currently don't really, they don't really have right now. I'm going to share the screen real quick and I'm let you hear this because this is a pretty good answer yesterday. This is Purdy yesterday in Santa Clara, and I asked him about Cowing, who wasn't out there on the field yesterday. But here's what he had to say about Cowing. Let's see if we can get this. Hold on a second. There we go.
Make it bigger. There we go.
Here we go. We rewind it back to the front. Here we go. Here's Purdy.
Brock, how do you feel about have you had any chance to throw with Cowing, and what do you think he's going to add? I mean, a guy with that kind of speed, does he create space out there?
Yeah, he's quick, he's twitchy, and just I'm impressed with just the way he's acted and interacted with guys. Very smart, very respectful, and a guy that I can tell he's going to get after it in terms of knowing what his job is. And as a quarterback, I feel like you're always looking for a guy that you can trust, and so yeah, I've seen that so far from him. I'm excited to see what he can do just in terms of taking off top and running downfield and everything once we get to it. So really excited.
Yeah. So there you go.
Early trust, Larry. Early trust is good.
Trust is a big part about playing quarterback. You saw Purdy kind of verbally unleash on Ray McLeod because McLeod freelanced on a ball where the defender was kind of cheating inside, and McLeod's like, okay, I'm supposed to cut inside, but I'll just cut outside because the defender's inside. And it's like, no, you got to go where the quarterback thinks you're going to be. You can't freelance, because otherwise that's how balls get picked off. Well, sure enough, he freelanced. He went outside. Purdy threw the ball inside. It wasn't picked. It fell incomplete. But you saw Purdy going, what are you doing? He was like screaming. And I asked him about it the next week because there was also, after the series was over, you see him on the sidelines kind of animated talking to Ray. And Brock just laid it out there. He's like, hey, man, you got to be where you got to be. And you can't freelance and just make it up as you go. You got to be where I think you're going to be. Otherwise, I can't throw with anticipation. And Brock is a big anticipatory thrower. So that was a major mistake by Ray in a big, big moment. And Brock kind of verbally let him have it. And what he's telling you there is that Cowing is trustworthy. Cowing is, humble, and he fits in. But he understands that.
I think as a rookie to go ahead and start freelancing. You know what I mean? Like when you're a freshman, you got your campus map out and you're just trying to get to class, and that's how Cowing should be operating. Whatever you need me to do, coach, in whatever direction you tell me to run, I'll run. How many yards? 7. Let's make that 7 on a dime. I mean, that's what he owes the Niners early on in his career.
Well, and that's the level of accountability and complexity that the college game does not offer. In college, they hold up cards. There's all kinds of forgiveness, and it's backyard football, right. And to a large degree compared to the NFL. In the NFL, if you watch the 49ers in practice and you watch Brandon Ayuk run a in route or an out route, he doesn't run it at 9 yards. He doesn't run it at 12 yards. He runs it at 11 yards. And so if you're watching, if you chart the Niner games, go back and look at how many Purdy to Ayuk in routes or slants or whatever went for 11 yards. Not 10, not 9, not 12, 11.
Right. That's why Ayuk was a human first down.
And that's why he loves Ayuk, because Ayuk's going to be where he's going to run that route the exact way it's drawn up. And if you run it at 12 yards, it's a different angle. If you run it at 8 yards, it's a different angle. You got to run the 11-yard pattern, the exact way it's drawn up, because that's when Purdy puts it right on the hands and everybody goes, wow, wow, look at Brock Purdy. But it's more than Brock Purdy. It's Brock Purdy, but it's Ayuk. And it's knowing when to cut off the route. And it's not like anybody says to you, you just ran 9 yards. You gotta have a feel for spacing and how many yards you've run. And there's a level of precision with NFL passing games that the college game never even comes close to. And that's why you'll keep seeing the same, Purdy to Ayuk for 11, Purdy to Ayuk for 11. It's like he's running that same route, the same depth every time.
I can't wait for 2024 to officially get here. And, if Brock Purdy more than picks up where he left off, if Brock Purdy is instantly, a little bit better than he was last year right away, like to where even, Grant, his harshest critic, has nothing but a compliment for after week 1, the NFL better look the fuck out, Larry. I mean, the NFL better be ready for a team that is, somewhere around 30 points a game once again, with Brock firing on more than all cylinders. I'm excited. I really am.
Well, I mean, do you have any doubt that he's going to be as good as he's been or better? Because I don't.
I think
there's lots of people that think that he's going to regress and that there's going to be this, Jimmy Garoppolo regressed. That's the thing. If your entire scope of evaluating quarterbacks is just Jimmy Garoppolo, then your focus is too limited and you probably aren't seeing things clearly. Just because Jimmy regressed doesn't mean Brock's going to regress. Just because Kaepernick regressed doesn't mean Brock's going to regress. You regress when there's flaws in your game and the advanced scouts find them and kind of force you to do things that you're not good at. Brock Purdy has already gone beyond that. As far as this guy's already, he's a starting quarterback on a team that, every team in both conferences is keenly aware is going to be a playoff team. The Niners offense has been studied and gone through with a fine-tooth comb, looking for ways to, defeat Brock Purdy, defeat Kyle Shanahan. And maybe the Ravens, and maybe Kyle Van Noy was right. Maybe the Ravens produced a template for how to beat Brock Purdy. We'll find out in time, because let's be honest, Brock Purdy after the Ravens game and the Niners offense after the Ravens game didn't look the same. They really didn't in any of those games. So, including the playoffs against Detroit and Green Bay, and they were lucky to escape those games against, teams that weren't quite ready to win. So Brock Purdy's going to have to be on his game, because Detroit's getting better. Green Bay's getting better. Philly's getting better. And there's probably a couple other teams as well. I mean, the Houston Texans come to mind in the AFC. I mean, this is an ascending, improving football team. And what you did last year probably is not going to be enough to beat those teams going forward. You got to do more.
And look, the thing that I think that there's, the bullseye that people lose focus on the most is just the working knowledge that you should be operating under all times. Everything you're looking at in this league is incredibly hard. I don't care how favorite you are by